I was going through articles before for the news. All of them are like like upset about the IRS getting layoffs and all this. It's like, well, hold on, we just saw proof that these people are literally robbing us blind, right? By definition, robbing us blind, and now they're upset that, again, it's just because Trump's doing it and Elon's doing it that they're upset about it. They're upset that Trump wants to take away the federal income tax.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It's like, so more money in our pockets. I'm sure there's a drawback. Don't get me wrong. But it's funny how media spins it, not so much that they care about whether or not they make money. It's just Trump did it so bad.
No, you know, it's even more interesting, and I'll say not even the media, but mostly the Democrats. I'll say some Republicans are very quiet, maybe by design. But the Democrats they are literally standing there saying, it's so wrong that this person's in there. It's wrong what he's doing to have access.
It's like, hey, he
Not
got
one,
voted
not
in.
no, I'm talking about Elon Musk. But
Oh.
not one of them has said, which would make sense to me. Maybe it's wrong he's in there, but we need to talk about what he's finding.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't want to talk about that. So this is a deflection. So, understand what's going on here. They're going to talk about Musk endlessly because they don't want to talk about what he's finding.
Well, it's kind of like the Snowden incident, right? When Snowden found all those documents that exposed the U.S. government, and then he finds all this stuff, and then he has to flee Russia because he's seen as a terrorist, even though he unearthed so many things about our politicians, I guess, but then nothing ever came of it. So it's like, I don't know what came of Snowden because that was kind of before I got into politics. I must have been in high school when that happened.
Exiled over there, and he was waiting for a pardon that never came. Blah blah. But also, you talk about the IRS. Okay, does anybody not recall what was a year ago? He wanted funding for 84,000 more agents.
Yeah.
For an organization that we now know has been losing track of or wasting our money.
Yeah.
And they had the audacity to say they have to pay for more. And we voted on a budget to put in 84,000 more IRS agents. Well, isn't it laughable? They're on my list of agencies that have had to cut people, cut away.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, no, we're all going to lose our jobs. It's like, well, yeah, you've been screwing. Not all. I mean, of course, not everyone's a bad person. But, like, yeah, your department sucks. You're stealing from people. I told you and my grandfather, there's a hearing from last week, I believe it was, where this guy's holding a bag of bolts for $10. But for some reason, we paid for that $10 bag of bolts $90,000. So what happened to the other $90,900 or whatever it is? Where's that go for one bag of bolts? It's like, oh, this is how we're spending our money. So now we have the proof of what the past generation has been talking about in government, and now they're upset that they got exposed.
Yeah.
So
and Treasury doesn't even have the proof in the sense that they just have outright fraud. There are no entries. They don't even know what nuts and bolts it goes to based on your definition.
Yeah.
It's just literally money going out the door with no coding whatsoever. And then when people turn around and say, did you realize this was yes. Do you think there's fraud? Oh, absolutely. But that's what we're supposed to do. We just send it out the door with no accountability. And we talked about this. I think the biggest threat to our government right now when they see Elon Musk is not him per se.
Yeah.
It's people. It's what he represents. He's AI. He's the future. He's where we're going. He's not somebody you're going to say, oh, you can't have accountability. Bullshit, you can have accountability. You have AI. This is as simple as 5th grade math. You just choose not to do it for a reason. Yeah. And as you expose where this money is going, like ISIS training camps, we're funding that.
Yeah,
we're funding that. Why? Okay? And even that, I'm not even sure it's 100%. Probably a portion goes there and then it gets kicked back to some entity here. And we're starting to peel back the layers of the onions of who these entities are. And that's the point that and what Musk is doing right now is very frightening to the establishment, because your generation going forward are not going to tolerate not knowing where that money goes.
Well, you said it best. Like, we've been so scared of this $34 trillion deficit that we've had, when in reality, it might not be as much as we thought. It might not be that high. It's just that once we cut all the unnecessary spending, which it seems like Musk is doing, I think that $34 trillion debt is going to go down real fast, to the point where I don't think Trump's going to have to rely on crypto to fix a lot of the problems that the U.S. has.